What is up, YouTube? Sorry for the break. It's been a busy couple of weeks and I'm not a full-time YouTuber yet. That's the dream. But yeah, we're back at Interlagos. I think the last time I raced here I was also having a good time. It's one of my favorite tracks. I love it because it's so challenging to get right, but when you do, it's so satisfying. So anyway, we're off to the standard race B rolling start. It's going to be a gap to the leader as always, but is what it is. So off we go. We see someone's dropped his cornflakes, so we straight up into P7, and oh my goodness, it looks like the German in P6 goes way too hot, forgetting that it's cold tires probably, or trying to not bash into the back of P5. Either way, we straight up into P6 on lap 1, and we've got about a 0.9 second gap to the lads up ahead. Not a bad start, not a bad start at all. We have Cam Thunders up ahead. Oh my gosh, the pole gets it completely sideways, smashes into Cam Thunders smashes into Aaron, and yes, they get 2 penalties for that. I don't know what's up with the penalty system for GT Sport at the moment, and I just hope they sort it out, because it's potentially ruining a lot of races that we have, and we'll see what happens a little bit later in this race and the races to come. Anyway, enough moaning about penalties. Cam Thunders, I've had a few races with him before and I absolutely love them. He's such a quick guy, nice and clean, hard and fair racer, so I absolutely love having the opportunity to race with him. So I'm aiming for the back of his tailpipes. That's what we're going to be doing for this race, if it's the last thing we do. Anyway, we also know that these lads are about 0.3, 0.4 seconds faster than us. So if I sit behind them and just watch their lines, watch where they brake, and stick in the slipstream, we'll be able to hang on to the back of them. We've got a nice gap, about a 2-second gap to P6 behind us, and the lads up ahead of us have a penalty. So we should be driving straight past Cam. Not sure about Aaron. We're not close enough to go straight past, but we'll try around the outside into the next turn. Do we get it? No, we don't. I wasn't going to risk going on the outside. I know that it's really dirty out there, and quite often you'll just slide straight out. Anyway, we're going to stick behind Aaron, show our face, give him some pressure, but he does not crack at all. It's a seasoned veteran over here. And there we go, we keep pushing. But I can already feel that I'm over pushing, I'm over driving, and I'm losing time in every corner because I'm trying to keep up with him. And I know that this is not the way that I should be driving, yet I continue to go in hot, trying to keep up, and we're already 0.9 seconds behind Aaron. Like, we've been playing this game more than enough to know that we should just calm down, settle down, don't push too hard. Anyway, get a bit excited when there's a podium for grabs, I suppose. So out of P12, or turn 12 we come. We're not close enough. We are going to catch a massive slipstream if we get a better drive out of turn 12, but turn 12 is probably my worst at this track. I cannot get it right for the life of me just yet. But I get a massive overspeed. Don't realize how much of a hole that R8 punches into the air. So completely overcook that corner and bring Cam straight into it. Long story short, I can't keep up with Aaron, but Cam Thunders can keep up with me as he goes for an insane move into turn 1. I obviously left the gap over there. I wanted to get a nice drive, but I did not expect him to be flying through like that, and he made it stick phenomenally, so well done to that. But I am going to get a better drive than him. And we got the inside. The AMG has a decent amount of grunt, so the inside to, what turn is this? Turn 4 is going to be mine, along with the 4-second penalty. I absolutely, yeah, anyway, no complaining about that. I watched the replay. I don't feel like I touched him. I don't feel like I did anything untoward, but we got a penalty for it. Let's just stay calm, stay relaxed. We'll deal with that after the race. Let's make sure that Cam Thunder stays behind us. That's the main aim for this race. Our motto is to never give up until the checkered flag. Aaron might make a mistake, so let's see what happens in the next couple of turns. Turn 12 is a big one. People can go off, and they do a lot. What is he going to do? He's going to go straight on and finish the race in P3, as he is to be expected. Yeah, not the best end to what could have been a really good race. We've got some great caliber of drivers in this race, and to finish P4 is really good, or could have been really good. So we end up finishing P6 in this race. So we're not going to linger on that one. We're going to push forward and move on to the next race. Let's see if we can do a little bit better than that. So we start off in P11 this time, and I can tell you this much: we're braking way too early, trying to be super conservative on turn 1 with the cold tires and the new car. We're trying the R8 out. I did feel like it was faster, but a little bit trickier to drive, as we get a bit of a nudge from the German behind us. He makes his indications quite clear as to what he wants to do on the first lap. As always, I hate racing on the first lap. As mentioned before, I try waiting till lap 3 at least to start fighting. But getting quite annoyed by the German next to me right now, trying to fight like it's the final lap on lap 1 with cold tires. It's just never gonna go well. Anyway, we make P11 stick, and we start hunting down P10 now. It looks like there's quite a nice group up ahead. A bit of a festival going, you could say. A bit annoyed I didn't get an invite, actually. Anyway, so some penalties are handed out, and our 1.6 second gap that is now 1 second. It's looking quite hopeful. Looks like the fighting didn't cost us too much in the start. So let's see what we can do. Can we catch them in the slipstream? Unfortunately, because the Brit and Spaniard up ahead have slipstream, it's going to be hard for me to catch them on the straights. So I'm going to have to do in the braking into turn 1. And without the slipstream, I'm able to do that quite nicely. So we bring that gap down to 0.8. We get a nice exit out of the S's, moving into turn 4. I do struggle with this people taking penalties on the inside, because I never know if they're just going to dart up the inside, and I get a little bit distracted and going way too hot, braking too late. So now we've got it all to do again on lap 2, but that's fine. We've still got a nice gap to the Dutch guy behind us, so we just keep our head down, stay focused, and we'll get where we need to be. Too wide. It's phenomenal racing by the guys up ahead. Really annoyed that I'm not involved in that, but we'll get there. We're catching them quite nicely as we head into turn 12. The German gets a little bit out of shape, and well, the Spaniard gets a penalty. Surprise, surprise. Not surprised at the Spaniard, just surprised with the penalty system, so that's clear. But here comes one of my favorite moves of 2019, and it happened literally the day before 2020. So with 3 cars, we're going to go 3 wide into turn 1. We're going to see what happens. We managed to keep it nice and tight, take the position, and get a bit of drive, then oh my. A 5-second penalty. Thank you very much, GT Sport, for rewarding my fantastic move with a -5 seconds. Oh man. Anyway, that's my rant for the penalty. We now stay focused. Have a bit of lag happening from the German up ahead. All we're going to do is fight to get the best position. We'll deal with the penalty when we need to deal with the penalty. So we stay nice and tight, nice and clean. Everything feels nice. Cars on rails is what it feels like. And the guys up ahead are fighting, so they're keeping us back just a little bit and introducing us into the battle. I try and go around outside to get a better drive, but I would highly recommend missing that curb because it really ruins your drive coming up here, up the hill and down into turn 12. But we get a nice exit. We keep it tidy, not too much wheel spin, and we 0.35 seconds away from P8. I am now thinking of the fact that I've got a 5-second penalty. So what am I going to do? Am I going to try and overtake as many people now? We go for another really good move, on same move that Cam Thunders actually did on us. We make it stick like fried rice. That was a really good move. Absolutely loved it. The Brit up ahead decides to keep his foot on the pedal, go sideways. So we up into P7 momentarily before we have to serve our 5-second penalty. Where does that leave us? That leaves us into P12, and feels like the tires are either cold or dirty now. Probably a little bit dirty from being offline. So now we have all the fighting to do again. So let's see where we can end in lap 4. We obviously know we have better pace than the lads up ahead, and we also know that the Spaniard likes to fight, so potentially we have a P9 coming for us after what could have been a P7. So we'll stay focused, keep our head down, don't allow what just happened to throw us off at all. Tires still seem a little bit dirty, so we're braking earlier on all the corners just to give us the best possible drive out of turn 12. We do get a good drive, so we're in the slipstream of the Brit up ahead. So what are we going to be able to do with this slipstream? Absolutely nothing. With it, yeah, I do need to apologize to EBK for that one. I thought I had a little bit more space, judged by the lag, but then he just magically appeared a few meters inside. Anyway, we're going to take me on the next corner. This is one of my favorite overtaking spots. You just need to hit this mark on the dot, roll through the corner, and open it up nice and gently. And 9 times out of 10 you'll have that corner because the outside is dirty, and if people decide to try and hang it out, they'll just go straight off the track because of the dirty track. So we're aiming at P10, and we're hoping that they'll make some sort of mistake or start fighting a little bit. As we mentioned before, we don't give up until the checkered flag, but I can feel myself overdriving all of the corners, and I'm not making any time, I'm actually losing it. What happens through turn 12? Are there any mistakes? Absolutely none. All the Germans make it through turn 12 quite nicely. So we're going to come home and finish in P11. Not at all a good result, but we live and we learn through all of these experiences. Let's see what we can do for the next race. So race 3, we're still in the R8. We're feeling a bit more comfortable in there, and this is going to be the final race of the video, so let's see if we can manage to get through this race without a penalty. So turn 1 and the S's don't go as planned. We get sort of parked up on turn 1 and then absolutely wreck our exit of turn 3. But fortunately we managed to hold on to P5 and get straight back onto the tail of the German up ahead in the Porsche. So what are we able to do in this race? So as always, and I've said this over and over again, I like to just stay calm for the first 2 or 3 laps. Don't do any fighting. I also see there's a bit of a gap up ahead. So I'm happy to just sit right here and let the Finn catch the group ahead. So stay relaxed, let the tires come into play. They're cold now. Calm and collected. That's the way we do it. I do sort of still need to work on turn 12, so I'm staying focused and not getting distracted into this part of the race specifically. And we don't do too badly there. But the Porsche does a much better job than we do. But we are in the slipstream and we're just looking for any weak points, any chinks in the armor for lap 4 and lap 5. So we pull out of the slipstream. We don't want to be overshooting anything. We get a good drive on that exit, and that'll help us exiting the S's. Whoa. But we are noticing that the Porsche isn't quite strong in turn 1, and I'm thinking that if I pile up some pressure on the Porsche, we should be able to force a mistake. So that's what we're going to be aiming at. So that means that come the end of the lap, come turn 12, we need to be on the tailpipes of the Porsche. So we're going to give that a bash now. We're not going to go for a move or anything like that. We're just going to see what happens if the pressure is put on. So we need to get a little bit closer. We need to be at least 0.3 gap exiting that corner, otherwise this plan is not going to work. So far it does not look great at all. So we might need to wait for lap 3. That being said, we get a phenomenal drive out of turn 12, and with the fighting happening up ahead, we managed to bring it down to that 0.3 time that we were looking for. So let's see what happens to the lads up ahead with the pressure. We go for our normal braking point. The Porsche doesn't do badly at all, but we see that the Finn goes way too hot and messes up his exit. Bounces off the curb and I follow him straight through. So from P7 to P5, absolutely great lap 3. See the Porsche on the inside, we block it off a little bit, we get a nudge. Something about these Germans and being really aggressive today. So we just stick back in, still lap 3, we got enough time, we can stay calm. And we're gonna implement the same strategy. Put the pressure on coming into turn 1. We know that we have a great drive coming out of the S's, and we can make that move on turn 4, which is our favorite spot for making that overtake. And it would be just so sweet if we could make that move happen where the German barged his way through. So let's get close. Let's get right up onto the bumper. So we get up to 0.3, but it looks like the double slipstream up ahead of the German is so much stronger than the slipstream I'm getting. So we're losing distance. We're still close-ish, but not close enough to pile on the pressure that we're hoping for. He goes a bit defensive. We go normal line. Let's see what happens. We go a little bit too hot actually. So we see that the German is going to fight or face his penalty at least. So we stick nice and close, get as much slipstream as possible, pull out, and we're right on the backside of P4. Would you look at that? This is turning out to be a great race. I wonder if any penalties are coming. So Pop-O-Matic, this Spaniard, we've had a few races before. Also a very aggressive driver. So yeah. So we try not to give him any space. And we've had some bad encounters with him before, so if my driving personality changes, you know why. So again, we've got a podium up for grabs. Or we did before there was a bit of a... yeah. No more words for the Spaniard, yeah? So I do need to stay calm. I need to work on staying calm when things like that happen. I tend to overdrive a little bit and get hot under the collar. I won't lie if I said that my blood wasn't boiling just a little bit after that move. But we have one more lap, and we're going to try at least to make P4. That is absolute minimum that we can walk away from this race with. Wow. I don't really know what happened there. Hashtag sorry not sorry, maybe? No, driving should never be like that. That was absolutely horrible. I didn't obviously aim for that move to happen. I just overshot the turn. I was sucked in with the R8's amazing slipstream. I keep forgetting about that. I was going off the Porsche slipstream, which is very different to the R8's, and I just followed him through, went way too hot, and touched him as he came back. So we'll see if we can keep him off, if he decides to do any last minute lunges or something like that. Nothing of the sort, but he's very close, and he's obviously going to be eyeing up the slipstream coming down into the last bend, turn 12, and up the hill. And I crack under the pressure a bit. I lose a 10th going into turn 12, and he is gaining at an alarming rate. So I park it in the middle. I'm aiming to go left. Try and cut him off a little bit. If he wants to go wide, he's more than welcome to do that. What happens? Whoa! If there was an extra meter, I wouldn't have made that. But looks like he had a penalty anyway, so a P4. Not a bad way to end this week's racing in Interlagos. Obviously I'll keep racing till Sunday and try and miss the penalties. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please hit the thumbs up. Let me know if there's anything that I can change or do better, and I'll definitely work on that for you.